We're following some breaking news happening in New Jersey now, where a dramatic water rescue is now underway. Let's take a look at some live pictures of the situation unfolding in the Passaic River in Garfield. You can see one of the rescue personnel there hanging, trying to get to those two people there on a raft. Now, this is a state police helicopter crew sending down a team to rescue the two people that you see there to the right of your screen. They're stranded right now on a Clifton Fire Department boat that's actually stuck near the Passaic River Falls. Now, one moment ago, right before we joined these live pictures, one person was safely brought up to the chopper. Those two do remain, though. Now, just as a precaution, other first responders are in position just feet away there with ropes and another large raft. And we're told that the fire department boat here was responding to another boat that was actually stuck at the top of the falls. But you can see there that it is rather windy. I'm sure some of that wind coming from the helicopter. But this is a very precocious situation here where the rescue personnel dangling there by that rope, trying to get into position to rescue those two other boaters there stuck in that raft. Extremely
precarious situation. But again, that's a state police helicopter crew, highly trained, highly skilled, and at the moment being blown around by all kinds of wind right there, battling the elements as well as the situation. But you can see we have a couple people there. Is it Christine? Two people stranded right there on a fire department boat that is stuck near the River Falls. I mean, the wind is really something right this moment.
It really is, and this has been going on at least for the past hour here now, and you can see some other personnel there at the top of your screen to the right. Everyone here, this is obviously a team effort, as we have seen these rescues unfold time and time again in the past. Many departments responding here to the scene anytime that there is people in danger, and this once again happening near the Passaic River Falls. We can say that some of the rain that we've gotten recently, I'm not really sure how that has, impacted the water levels there.
Swollen, right?
We can bring in Lonnie Quinn, who's standing by here across the room. Lonnie, what is the water levels like here in this area?
Okay. In terms of, you talked first of all about the winds. The wind that you're seeing there is wash coming from the helicopter itself, because our winds are not anywhere close that would be, churning up the water and making those branches blow like that. So that's from the helicopter itself. But you were asking me specifically about rainfall. If you recall the live shots we were showing 2 days ago from a little creek that Vanessa Murdoch was standing in front of during our 5 o'clock news, and by the 6 o'clock news, that little creek had swollen so much and crested over its banks that it was flowing on both sides of a home that was nearby. That's what a lot of these little creeks feed into, are these bigger rivers. And yeah, it's definitely swollen by the rain we picked up yesterday. That portion of New Jersey, in a 2-day period, picked up anywhere between 5 and 8 inches of rain. Well over a month's worth of rain they got in 2 days, and that is how our waterways are reacting. So yeah, that has Mother Nature is playing a role in that portion of this event.
So what it looks like right now, Lonnie, is we have 2 fire department personnel stuck there on a raft. They had come to rescue 2 other people who had been stranded there. So 2 have been rescued, it appears at this point. 2 still to be rescued, and no word on any injuries at the moment. We have a ground crew heading to the scene right now. Christine Sloan is making her way to the scene, and we'll get some more details in just a bit. But at the moment, yeah, the wind from the chopper is really what's causing all that trouble right there for the state police helicopter personnel there attempting to make that rescue.
Yeah, and just proof of just, how strong this wind is that they're dealing with and the conditions. You can see the raft. They're trying to hold that into place. And just a few moments ago, we saw the rescue personnel that was hanging there by that harness. It looked like he was on an amusement ride almost.
You're right.
I mean, he was just kind of whipping around there in the wind. So a very dangerous situation, a very dangerous rescue unfolding here. Obviously, the safety of the 2 people that need to be rescued, utmost importance, but also the safety of the rescue personnel as well. So it looks as though that state trooper there is trying to give some direction to the helicopter operator, giving him some direction to go down. But this is something that is unfolding ongoing right now in Garfield, New Jersey, as we continue to watch here this rescue unfold.
And I want to make sure we get it right here from our control room. Just clarify it for me here, please. We had one person was taken up by the rope there a couple minutes ago, and we've got one person left. Is that correct? So one has been rescued, one's remaining, and one attempting to rescue that person remaining there. And you can see they're not under duress, or they're not stressed at the moment. At least that rescuer right there. They're just seeming to wait for the right moment to make this happen.
Absolutely. So once again, they do have a safety boat that is also in place there, and that is just in case the rescue does, in order to basically just catch the people in case, they start to float away. So they have the initial rescue going on, and then the backup personnel there just a few yards away to make sure that if there's particular rescue, the first rescue doesn't go as planned, somebody will be in place to catch those other boaters that are waiting there to be rescued.
And so, Lonnie, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Lonnie, just take us through the weather conditions one more time. Over the past few days, the Passaic River here has taken on all kinds of water.
Yeah.
And has risen to levels that it hadn't been just days ago.
The Passaic River, as we well know, especially you folks who live in that area, it is so prone to flooding anyway with a big rain. This has been, borderline, a huge rain. 5 to 8 inches of rain over the last 2 days fell in that area. That's the area of the tri-state that picked up the biggest rainfall amounts, and it's resulting in things like this. And when you look at that, the firefighter who's in the submerged boat or partially submerged boat waiting to be rescued, consider the fact that he went over the fall. I mean, he took that 15-foot drop in that boat, and he seems okay for the time being, waiting for help from some of the rescuers. But yeah, he went over that drop, it was pretty serious. And if you look at that picture, there's another boat right there, they're zooming in on right now, that hasn't gone over. But I understood from the way the story was explained to me, there were 2 boats like that. One went over, and that one is sitting up there kind of hung up. It looks like on a tree or something, but it didn't go over. It looks like they've got it secured with a rope to the land.
Yeah, this is all happening, and we're seeing these pictures for the first time as you at home are seeing them. So we're still trying to figure out how everything has unfolded. But clearly there is a boat that did not go over the falls yet. And then it appears, though, now that we saw the other boat there to the left of this one, or rather to the right, this may very well be the safety boat that has been set up, because I see the rope from the yellow boat there connected to the other gentleman that's over by the tree, the other rescue personnel there by the tree.
Got it.
So we see that rope going across the falls. So judging by what we're seeing now and the bigger picture that we're seeing, this appears to be the second rescue crew that's in place.
But that's the rescue crew. Their boat is they're in trouble there, because that boat is basically submerged.
All right. Well, he's on a phone, it looks like.
It does.
So that gives us some comfort, right? It's not as stressful as it could be, but still, we need to get out of there. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Also, the chopper seems to have left the scene for the moment, at least for now.
Well, they're pulling back to see if we've got an eyeball on the choppers, right? Oh, there you go. So without the chopper there, any winds that are rustling your leaves are blowing at around maybe 20 miles per hour, is what Giorgio just gave me the information. So that's far from any criteria that would merit the wind being a huge factor. Yeah, but it's stirring a bit, but not like when that chopper was over there and blowing up the foam from the water.
Yeah, there was clearly a big difference when the chopper was overhead.
Absolutely. And then looking at the current on the river, it is not as rough as it could be. We've seen it far more aggressive than that right there. I mean, that's almost a best-case scenario.
Absolutely. So once again, if you're just joining us here at 5 o'clock, we have been watching this rescue unfold happening in the Passaic River in Garfield, New Jersey. This is what we know so far. A state police helicopter crew sent down a team to rescue 2 people that were stranded on a Clifton Fire Department boat. Now, that Clifton Fire Department boat that we see right there in our picture got stuck near the Passaic River Falls. So this is the boat that we're assuming is stuck. It's submerged, and it looks as though that they have a rope tethered to that Clifton Fire Department boat. Now, we did hear that one person was safely brought up in the helicopter, but clearly with that helicopter overhead and the rescue personnel that was rappelling down from the helicopter, there was just way too much wind happening as a result. And
as a result of the chopper.
As a result of the chopper, exactly. And the rescue personnel was just getting blown all over the place, and it was just creating a very dangerous situation. So it looks as though they're regrouping, but looking at the pictures that we have in front of us, it does not appear that, you know, this is anybody is in real danger. Like he can definitely, you know, float away at any point. He does seem to be calm. He seems to be on the phone at times. He has a life jacket on, and he is able to stand on something solid there on top of the boat.
And that's not the worst current we've ever seen the Passaic River moving at.
Maurice, it's not. However, you know, people, if that's the case, people might be thinking, you know, why doesn't he just jump and swim to the shore? It's strong enough that you don't just jump and leisurely swim to the shore. You don't want, look, you don't know what's underneath there. You don't know if you're going to hit a rock. You got to play this one safe.
Still significant, but not enough to be, you know.
You're right. We've seen it worse, without a doubt.
Exactly. And then the rest of the weather conditions, Lonnie, you say 20-mile-per-hour gusts at times?
Yeah, at times. You're seeing a 20-mile-per-hour gust out there. Like right now, you see the leaves being rustled a little bit more than they were a moment ago. But
not so bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Now, we do want to take a look at some video.
Grabbing the rope here. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, we do want to take a look at some video that you see there on the inset. This is the first rescue that took place earlier that we told you about. So let's go ahead and watch this unfold as we keep an eye on what's happening in those live pictures. But clearly you can see one person hoisted up with the help of that rescue personnel from the state police helicopter overhead. They were able to get one person off the Clifton Fire Department boat.
Wow.
So now the challenge is getting the other rescuer number two.
Well, they got the rope to him, and he's...
He got a hold of it.
Yeah, he's got a hold of it, is right. Is he possibly thinking of making the crossing just with the rope?
That's what it kind of looks like. Now, on the right, that's a live picture, right?
I believe
state police helicopter.
If that's the case, the guy's coming back.
Coming back. That's what it looks like at the moment. And hand signaling as if he's making his way down. This is where we obviously wish we had some communication on the ground, but we don't, so we're just left to watch this with you at home the same way. But these are highly skilled, highly trained rescue personnel with the state police in New Jersey looking to make this rescue happen here.
All right, as we continue to watch this, we're going to see this state police team member here go for another try at getting the remaining officer off.
He's doing much better.
There he is.
Okay.
Okay.
We have contact.
This is a good sign.
All right, and he's bringing out the harness. Okay, he just did this a little while ago, so he's ready for round two.
So these are, you know, this is training in action, right? You know, this is what they spend hours training for real life situations, and sometimes apparently even rescue personnel need to be rescued. And in this case, it is the Clifton Fire Department, members from the Clifton Fire Department that were, what we know so far, were out to go rescue another boat, and they found themselves in some trouble. But here he is, being hoisted to safety onto the state police helicopter that came into the scene here in Garfield.
Wow, he's giving him the thumbs up.
No kidding. You want to applaud. I mean, this is awesome.
I mean, that's just amazing. The nerve, right? The skill, the confidence to pull this off.
Just the fact that we're watching it play out right in front of us. This is like KJ was saying, they train for these things, and now, boom, you put it into action.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh, he's returning to the ground.
I think he's just giving some signals as to which direction to go to, because I'm sure there's trees in the way and there's other obstacles that they need to avoid here.
Tough to give directions when you're spinning like that.
This is just constant communication between the pilot here, those people that are on board the helicopter, and of course...
He's making his way back down, maybe a spot.
But maybe to dry land?
Right, a favorable
Possibly,
spot. And it
possibly.
looks like, yeah, terra firma.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine how that feels, right? Big sigh of relief.
Wow. We're watching pros in action.
Oh, that was awesome to watch.
Okay.
Some handshakes, some hugs.
And
he's going back up to
This is like Mission Impossible.
He's going back to whence he came.
it's like I figured it was like a retractable hose. You just pull it and it zips back up there, and he stays on the ground. But off he goes.
You know what? Great teamwork here that we saw unfold live.
Impressive.
Yeah.
They make it look easy.
And there's the state police chopper. That crew. Bravo to those folks up in that chopper. And obviously to the ground crew that was helping coordinate this. But this is quite something.
Oh, something
not
else
not
is
a typical afternoon, I'm sure, for these folks.
But at the same time, they make it look, you know, like it's all in a day's work. It's what we do.
You betcha, Mo. But if people are just joining us now, they didn't see how much they were struggling before this successful attempt. That last guy was going back and forth and couldn't quite get there. Right. And off they go.
Absolutely. Now, I did hear that we had someone on the phone. I'm not sure if we still have. We have Corbett from John Jay College on the phone here. And Mr. Corbett, I was just curious, were you able to watch this unfold and your thoughts on how it all went? All right. Obviously, Mr. Corbett is not fully connected here, but we'll continue to try to get that phone line connected and get Mr. Corbett's take, because he usually does have a very interesting take on these situations. He's joined us here before at 5 o'clock at other times and can always bring some insight into this. But basically, what we've seen here is a successful rescue that took place there in Garfield, New Jersey. It seems like the situation is clearly under control. Everyone back on terra firma, and they will certainly look. Oh, Mr.
We have someone
Corbett.
on the phone. Who have we got?
Yeah, hi. It's Glenn Corbett.
Hey, Professor, it's good to have you with us. I hope you've been watching this rescue there in the Passaic River in Garfield, New Jersey.
Yes.
What was your take on what you just saw? We saw a chopper come in and take out 2 people stuck in the middle of the river there. What'd you see?
Sorry.
Yeah, it was, of course, a remarkable rescue for all the individuals and the organizations involved here. You know, this is a situation with what these folks train for. It's called swiftwater rescue. It's a much different rescue than, say, a person who was having problems in a lake or something like that. This is, you know, you got water moving very rapidly, and of course there was high wind conditions on top of it here for the helicopter to deal with. So the training really came together for all these folks, and thank God it's a safe rescue for all the people that were involved here. So, but this is, I think everyone can understand, this is a very dangerous situation that they're dealing with. It looks like it's at the Dundee Dam in the Passaic River, right alongside Clifton and Garfield.
We saw them make a pass at it and then come back after regrouping. What do you think the issue was that was preventing them from making a rescue the first try?
Well, I think, you know, part of it here, because I could see the heavy winds and stuff, it may have been from the helicopter's perspective, because obviously he has to, or whoever's piloting the helicopter has to remain at a very specific location while they're trying to pull off this rescue here, which is very difficult. I mean, all these things involved here are incredibly difficult, but I think that may have played a role here with the situation, perhaps.
Okay. Well, Glenn Corbett, thank you for the insight. So to wrap this up here, in case you're just joining us, we've been watching some human drama unfolding in the Passaic River in Garfield. New Jersey State Police chopper crew sent down a team to rescue 2 people stranded on a Clifton Fire Department boat. Took them up one by one. And all is well after some tense moments there. But this is what they do. They train for it, like you said. Wow. And they pulled it off right there in front of our eyes.
You know, Maurice, you were talking about the winds. If the winds are, let's say, 20 to 25 miles per hour, which is what they're blowing, that's not severe at all. However, we're also not in a helicopter at that point in time. Right. And they are gusts, so they're not blowing the entire time. You were asking, you know, why was it feasible at one point in time and not capable. They were not capable of doing it another time. Maybe those winds had backed off, and then they sort of kicked in again. But really, Mother Nature's perspective wasn't putting down the terrible rain today. The river was swollen, but we didn't really have any strong winds out there. But 20 to 25 mile per hour winds certainly had a play in what we were watching out there, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thankfully, we had a good ending to this at the Dundee Dam today.
Yeah, could have gone the other way, right?
Definitely.